time to introduce you to Boo the cat. See, I've been taking credit for all these videos, and she's actually my big helper in the shop. She's named Boo because we got her on Halloween, being a black cat. Sort of fit the picture. I got her on a diet right now, so she's not very happy with me. Coming up and nipping at me, bugging me, don't want me to sleep. She's getting all groomed and cleaned up for you right now, so she'll look pretty. She is a pretty cat. She's a good helper too. I'll show you in action down in the shop in a little bit. I originally showed you this nice Sargent plane that a friend of mine gave to me to restore. Came from his family. I restored it and quite pleased with it, but since it came from his family, I decided I should give it back to him. It belonged in his family. So to replace it, I found this Shelton vise on eBay. Got fair reviews. Sounded like a pretty good item. And I got a decent deal on it. Quite rusty. Neglected, handle loose. And decided to buy it. And of course the trick is to make it look like the one I restored. Got a little bit of a challenge ahead of me. We'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, the restored plane, why is it back in my possession? Well, my friend gave it back. He said no, he wanted me to have it. I spent the time and effort on it. It would just sit in his shop, not be used, not be displayed, and he wanted me to have it. So now I get to own this nice item, and looks like I'll have two nice planers at this point. Come on, it's time to get up and go to work. Come on, wake up, get up. Yeah, I see you. You're just dying to go down and go to work, aren't you? And there's Boo, gonna help me with the restoration. Here's the Shelton vise, all torn down. She's inspecting it for me, checking for rust and other issues. See what we should do. Put a level on it. The base seemed very straight. Of course, it wasn't in very good condition. All these parts, mainly rust. Everything seems straight. I'm sure once it's cleaned properly and lubricated, it'll be a pretty good item. What do you think, Boo? What do you think? Huh? You ready? Boo? Uh-oh, she's mad at something. Look at that tail twitch. Yeah, she's just thinking about getting into something. That's what she's thinking. She's finding out what she can get into. Yep, there she goes. I better get those parts before she loses them all. As I showed you before, this was my standard that I'd set. The first plane that I had restored was a Sargent model. Came out beautiful. And now back in my possession, and it's the standard that I'm shooting for with the Shelton one. And here's the Shelton, all finished. Had a little different finish on it, smoothed out, but it didn't as smooth as the other one. It had a little. It is smooth and even, but it's a little rougher finish. Had a big flaw in there I couldn't take out with really grinding it down. But we took it apart, refinished all the parts. It's the original paint inside. I just super cleaned it. The other parts on it shined up nicely. So we have the standard we're shooting for. And we have the new plane. I don't think personally the Shelton plane is as nice a quality as the Sargent. Made the same. There's a lot of different models made just the same. They all copied each other. And of course finished a little different with a little different lighter finish on the wood. So there it is. I went from 0 to 1 to none, and now I've got 2. Very happy with it. I had an old block plane that came from the family. I think I included a short piece on it in an earlier video. It's a Fulton brand. This is what it looked like torn down. Pretty dirty. Needed a heavy-duty cleaning. And this is when I was first getting into restoring, so I did a cleaning on it, but that was about all I did. You can see what it looks like. Very simple little piece. Doesn't have many parts to it. But I basically cleaned it and called it done because that's all I could do at the time. And the Fulton plane was a plane that was sold starting in 1905 by Sears, and they had quite a few items that they sold that were made by Fulton, and it was their main item until in the 20s, I believe, from what I found. Craftsman came in and took over, and once Craftsman took over, Fulton became a secondary item. This is a nice little plane. I don't think there was anything wrong with the tools. Craftsman just don't know the reasons why, but they made the change. And of course, I decided to bring it up to standard since my standards have increased, or standards have gotten a little better. I took it back again, took it apart, re-cleaned it. It had a kind of a rough type finish on the sides. It's not a smooth, but it is cleaned and shined as best as can be. Redid the wood on here, which I had never properly done before, the wood knob. And the handle, polished the handle, took it from that black to a nice shiny finish. Thanks to the great shining wheel we have now, the fiber wheel, the one that covers your shop in dust. I had to make a special catcher to catch all the dust. And but now it's ready to go. So I've got 3 planes in my collection now. Don't know that I'll do any more of those. I really enjoyed doing these. I'm really proud of the end result. But I wanted to show what's been done and show what you can do when you got a great helper like Boo the cat. Thanks for watching.